What if I told you that one of the most devastating warnings in the entire Bible is hidden inside a greeting you've probably read 100 times and never even noticed?
You see, on the surface, it's just 5 simple words. To the churches of Galatia. Seems pretty innocent, right? Just a standard opening to a letter. But it's not.
In fact, this verse doesn't say what you think it says. Not even close. This isn't really a greeting at all. So stay with me, because what Paul is not saying here is a blaring alarm bell. And once you hear it ring, I promise it will forever change how you see your place within the entire family of God.
Okay, so to uncover this hidden warning, we have to become detectives for a minute. Let's start by just looking at what the text actually says. No interpretation yet, just the raw data, the clues on the page.
And right away, we find our first huge clue. Paul makes it a point to say he is not writing this letter alone. He specifically includes all the brethren who are with me. Now, this isn't just some friendly shout-out to his team. No, this is a deliberate, highly strategic move, and it's the very first key that starts to unlock this entire warning. And this is where we shift gears from just observing to interpreting, because the real power, the real weight of this warning is locked inside 2 specific Greek words that our English translations just can't fully capture. So first, Paul calls his co-senders adelphoi. Now, this doesn't just mean colleagues or ministry partners. The word means brothers. It's a word of deep, intimate, familial connection. He is immediately framing this entire message as coming from family, bound together by the blood of Christ.
But then he adds a second, absolutely crucial word, pantes. This is the Greek word for all. And we're not just talking all as in everyone, but all as in every single one, without a single exception. Paul is making it completely, undeniably clear that this letter, and the severe warning it contains, has the unanimous backing of the entire community of faith standing there with him.
So just look at the difference here. This isn't one man's personal opinion, no way. Paul is transforming his message from a personal letter into a corporate intervention. He's essentially saying, listen up, Galatia. What you're about to hear isn't just from me. This is the shared, unified conviction of your entire spiritual family. And that right there gives his words an incredible, unshakable authority.
And hey, if this is helping you see the Bible with fresh eyes, would you do me a favor and just tap that like button? It actually helps more people find these kinds of teachings. So, we see this unified front sending the message, but that just leads to a deeper question, right? Who exactly was on the receiving end of this massive communal warning? This is where the plot really starts to thicken.
Because the recipients of this letter, they reveal the second half of this puzzle. The sheer scale of the problem is what explains why Paul was so deeply, deeply alarmed.
He addresses the letter tais ekklēsiais to the churches of Galatia. Did you catch that? Plural. Churches. This is absolutely critical. Paul is not writing to one church dealing with some small, localized problem.
No, he's addressing an entire network of churches, spread all across the Roman province of Galatia. We're talking about congregations in Pisidian Antioch, then over in Iconium, down in Lystra, and in Derbe. The false teaching he is about to confront isn't just a little spark. It's a raging wildfire that has already spread across an entire region.
So let's be clear. This wasn't some minor disagreement in a single church. It was a full-blown regional spiritual epidemic. An entire network of believers was in grave danger of abandoning the true gospel.
Okay, so now let's put it all together. When you combine these 2 massive pieces, the unified entire community sending the letter and the huge regional crisis they were addressing, the shocking reason for Paul's cold, blunt tone becomes crystal clear. Just look at this contrast. On the left, you have Paul's typical greeting, like the one he wrote to the Colossians, warm, affirming, to the saints and faithful brethren, beautiful. Now look at the right, to the Galatians, just to the churches of Galatia. That's it. All the warmth is gone. It's intentionally cold. It's stark. He strips away every single one of his usual terms of endearment. And here is the gut punch reason why he does it. He withholds those precious titles because their very identity as saints and as faithful is precisely what this crisis has put in question. By turning to a different gospel, they were risking the very foundation of their faith. Paul's silence here is absolutely deafening. So let's synthesize this. This is not a greeting. It's a warning shot across the bow. Paul, standing there with the entire family of faith behind him, is effectively saying, you think you're just exploring some new teaching? No.
You need to understand that what you're actually doing is walking away from the family. You are separating yourselves from the very community that stands united on the one true gospel.
So, what does this ancient alarm bell mean for us, right here, right now? How does this powerful warning about corporate solidarity and spiritual crisis actually change the way we live our lives today?
Well, first, it totally challenges our individualism. Before we go to correct an issue, do we seek the wisdom of our community, our brethren? Second, it forces us to broaden our perspective. Are we only concerned with our own church, or do we see ourselves as part of a much larger family of believers in our city, in our region, standing together for the gospel? And finally, it redefines love. Because sometimes, the most loving thing isn't to offer praise, but to deliver a sober warning out of deep, deep concern. I genuinely love to hear in the comments which one of these challenges you the most.
And that leaves us with one final powerful question to really reflect on. Paul's message to the Galatians forces every single one of us to ask, is my faith just a solo act, something just between me and God? Or is it a united front, lived out in solidarity with the entire family of faith? Because the answer to that question, well, it changes everything.